Well, thank you, boys. Good to see a full house out here. We've been to some of the forums where there's only maybe a dozen people at them. This is what makes government work, is people showing up, and I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I'm going to talk just briefly about the Hearst decision that Larry mentioned earlier. We had building in many areas at a standstill because people were unsure if they could drill a well, and most of them frankly couldn't. And it was quite a battle to get that back to where it used to be, where you have private property, you have a right to drill a well on your private property, and we're going to be standing for that. I do want to mention, I think most legislators or elected officials, if we were gone next year, would be forgotten in about 15 minutes. We saw a lot of work in the Hearst decision done by Bob Morton, Senator Barr, 15, 20, 30 years ago on water resource management, and a lot of that framework was what helped us get through Hearst, where it didn't impact this district as badly as it could have. A lot of other districts have got a lot of work to do. We're in pretty good shape on Hearst. Probably my greatest effort the last 3, 4, 5 years has been working on the fire issues in the state. I was down in the Carlton complex in 2014, was in the middle of it for several weeks. I saw things go right, saw things go wrong, saw a lot of close calls, and I've been working on that ever since. We burned 500,000 that year acres in Okanagan County. The following year we burned another 500,000 in just one county, and then quite a bit of the district went. We had a lot of trouble, and it was pretty widespread. So I've worked on two things. One is the first response. Been working with our local volunteer districts, trying to get them more funding, more training. They're working closer with the DNR to where we've got a more lined out approach when we're going after those fires, and we're trying to get them quick, get them out, and keep them small and be done with them. The other side of that we're dealing with is forest health, and I've passed several bills funding quite a bit of work there. My inspiration on that was the Sinlahecan Wildlife Refuge. It's in Okanagan, where they've done a thinning and burning, prescribed burn program for about 18 years up there. And I saw where the Okanagan complex came in. The fire came in, it was 15 miles of black, ground out, and all the Forest Service ground up there, and it hit that refuge, and it dropped down to the ground, and it went out. And that's what we need to be doing. We also, it puts people to work in the area. We can have people out thinning, doing some of the burning work, and that's been something. We've got to do the prevention end of it. We were looking at 100 years of fire suppression. The forests are full of fuel. We need to build fire resilient forests. Broadband is a big one. We've got the backbone in with NOAA. We've got to get it out the last mile and get it out available to everybody. We're working on that right to the last minute. In last session, we were in the Speaker's office trying to get it done, and we're getting closer, and that's, I think, a huge potential job benefit for the area. I got, on the way here, I got several wolf calls. I'm working on that too. There's wolves in the cows up on Togo on private ground, and there's 3 more chewed up calves up at the Diamond Dam. That's going to be an ongoing discussion, and I'll do my best there. Thank you, folks.
Position 2 challenger, Michael Bell.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here this evening, and I'm pleased at all the faces that we see here. This is quite the crowd, and I wish we had this many people at other locations that we talk at. My name is Mike Bell. I'm a retired CPA. I worked with healthcare organizations for 40 years, hospitals, clinics, nursing homes. I worked with every hospital in the 7th District at one time or another. And we did a lot of problem solving. We worked with them to bring money into their communities so they could meet the needs of the folks in that community. And over the 40 years, I learned that business very well. The last 20 years, I had my own practice. I had 20 professional staff. And we did problem solving. We brought in hundreds of millions of dollars to those rural communities, 20 staff, hundreds of hospitals and clinics, 14 states, and we worked with government, we worked with regulations. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy and served in the submarine service, and that's where the healthcare part started. So I'm very proud of that, and I support our veterans. We have a lot of things that we need to work on here in the state. This is my first time as a candidate for public office. I'm not a career politician. I don't need a job. I just need a good legislator. And right now, I don't think we've got what we need. Our taxes, property taxes and sales taxes are too high. The bottom 20% in this state pay 17% of their income in taxes. The people at the top, the millionaires and billionaires, they're paying less than 3%. There's something wrong with that. We've got the most regressive tax system in the country. We're 50 out of 50, and that issue has not been addressed. One of the reasons it hasn't been addressed is because we have too many corporations and special interest groups governing legislators in Olympia. I don't take corporate money. I don't take special interest money. My opponent, Joel, has received $600,000 over the years from corporations and special interests. Shelley has received over $500,000 in corporate contributions and special interest money. And even Jacqueline, as a newcomer, has about $100,000 in that. When corporations give legislators money, they expect $10 back for every dollar that they give to the legislator, and they get it. There are 650 tax credits in this country, or in this state, that go to corporations for the supposedly creating jobs. And the legislature has never gone back once to verify whether they got the jobs. Well, my opinion is that if they promised 500 jobs and they didn't produce, I want our money back. And that's one of a dozen things that we need to deal with. Anyway, thank you for your time. My name is Mike Bell, and I hope you get your vote.